Have you ever woken up in the morning, reached for your coffee, and thought to yourself, this is the one thing keeping me alive right now? I know I have. But what if I told you that the very same cup of coffee, or more accurately, too many of those cups could one day stop your heart instead of starting your day? It sounds dramatic, maybe even a little shocking, but it's true. Caffeine, the very thing so many of us rely on for energy, focus, and even comfort, has a dark side that most people don't want to talk about. And for those of us over 50, when our bodies aren't as forgiving as they used to be, ignoring this reality can be downright dangerous. Let's be honest here. Nobody wants to hear that their morning coffee or afternoon tea could become a silent killer. Coffee shops are on every corner. Energy drinks are sold like candy, and even chocolate sneaks in its little boost. Caffeine is woven into our culture, our routines, and in many cases, our identities. Some people joke that they can't function without it. But beneath the laughter lies a very real problem. Too much caffeine is not just about jitters or a restless night of sleep. It can disrupt your heart rhythm, damage your bones, it can interfere with your brain chemistry, and in extreme cases, yes, it can kill you. So the question isn't whether caffeine is good or bad, it's about how much is too much and what happens to us, especially as we age. When we ignore the warning signs, when I first started looking into this, I'll admit I didn't want to believe it either. I love my morning cup of coffee. That rich smell, the warm comfort, it feels like a ritual, almost sacred. But once I understood the science, I realized I had been playing with fire without even knowing it. And the scary part, most of us are. So let's break this down in a way that makes sense. Without the jargon, without the scare tactics, just the truth, told with a little tough love. And hopefully with enough encouragement that you'll make choices that keep you healthier and more alive for the years to come. First, let's talk about what caffeine actually does. Most people think it just wakes you up, but the story is more complicated. Caffeine blocks something called adenosine, a chemical in your brain that makes you feel sleepy. That sounds like a good thing, right? More energy, more alertness. But here's the catch. While caffeine blocks adenosine, your body is still producing it. So when the caffeine wears off, all that built-up adenosine comes crashing in, which is why you feel so drained later. That's the crash so many of us know all too well. And here's where it gets tricky. The more caffeine you drink, the more your body adapts. Your brain literally grows more adenosine receptors to compensate. That means you need more caffeine to get the same effect. And when you try to stop, withdrawal symptoms hit harder: headaches, irritability, even depression. This cycle becomes a trap, and it's not just about being tired. Over time, it takes a real toll on your body. Let's zoom in on the heart for a second. Caffeine stimulates your nervous system, which increases your heart rate and blood pressure. For someone young and healthy, the body may handle those changes fairly well. But for someone over 50, especially with existing heart concerns, high blood pressure, or even just the natural stiffening of blood vessels that comes with age, caffeine can be a dangerous trigger. Too much caffeine can cause arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats. Sometimes that's just a flutter, but in severe cases, it can lead to cardiac arrest. Yes, cardiac arrest from too much coffee or energy drinks. It's rare, but it's real. And the sad part is, it usually happens to people who thought they were doing something harmless. I read about a case where a man drank multiple energy drinks in a single day and collapsed. His heart just couldn't handle it. Now, most of us aren't chugging 5 cans of energy drinks at once. But how many cups of coffee do you have a day? 2, 3. Add in that iced tea at lunch, maybe some chocolate in the afternoon, and suddenly, your daily caffeine intake can climb higher than you realize. For adults, experts generally agree that up to 400 milligrams of caffeine a day is considered safe. That's about 4 regular cups of brewed coffee. But here's the kicker. Not everyone processes caffeine the same way. Genetics, liver function, medications, age, all of these factors can change how your body handles caffeine. What's safe for one person can be dangerous for another. And as we age, our metabolism slows down, which means caffeine lingers longer in the body. That's why you might have noticed that coffee at 3 p.m. keeps you awake half the night now, even though it never used to. But it's not just about sleep or feeling jittery. Long-term high caffeine intake can lead to bone thinning or osteoporosis because caffeine interferes with calcium absorption. And for people already at risk like postmenopausal women, that's a serious concern. Caffeine can also increase anxiety, worsen acid reflux, and even mess with blood sugar control. If you've been told you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, this is especially important. So, yes, caffeine gives you energy, but it can also quietly erode your health if you're not paying attention. Now, before you panic and throw out every coffee bean in your house, let's be clear. Caffeine itself is not evil. In fact, in moderate amounts, it has real benefits. Studies have linked coffee to lower risks of certain diseases, including Parkinson's and even some cancers. It can boost mood, improve focus, and yes, it can make life feel a little more enjoyable. The danger comes when moderation turns into excess, when the habit becomes dependency. And when we ignore the signals our body is sending, I want to pause here and ask, have you ever noticed your hands trembling after your second or third cup? Have you felt your heart pounding in your chest for no clear reason? Do you find yourself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, even though you're exhausted? If you've experienced any of these, leave a comment below. Share your story, because I guarantee you're not alone. And your words might help someone else wake up, no pun intended, to what's really going on. Now, let's shift gears and talk about real solutions. Because I'm not here to make you fear coffee. I'm here to help you enjoy it safely, wisely, and in a way that supports your health, not sabotages it. The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to how much caffeine you're actually consuming in a day. Write it down for a week. You might be surprised. Remember, caffeine hides in more places than you think. Sodas, teas, chocolates, even certain medications. Once you know your intake, ask yourself honestly, how do I feel? If you're constantly tired, anxious, or struggling with sleep, that's your body's way of telling you something's off. The second step is cutting back gradually, not all at once. Quitting caffeine cold turkey can feel miserable. Headaches, irritability, even flu-like symptoms. Instead, try swapping out 1 cup of coffee for decaf, or replacing that afternoon soda with water or herbal tea. Over time, your body will adjust, and you'll be amazed at how much more stable your energy feels. Third, focus on what I call true energy. Caffeine is like borrowing energy from tomorrow. You always have to pay it back. Real energy comes from taking care of your body, eating balanced meals, staying hydrated, moving your body every day, and getting quality sleep. When you invest in these, you'll find you don't need caffeine in the same desperate way. And here's the twist most people don't expect. Once you cut back on caffeine, your first cup of coffee in the morning will feel magical again. That rush of alertness, that lift in moodite becomes special, not something you take for granted. You reclaim control instead of letting caffeine control you. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I've been drinking coffee for 40 years and I'm fine. And maybe you are. But the truth is, the risks of caffeine are cumulative. Just because you've dodged the bullet so far doesn't mean you're immune. Heart problems, bone loss, anxiety, they don't appear overnight. They build over time, and by the time the warning signs are obvious, the damage may already be done. That's why I'm urging you to think about this now. If you love life, and I know you do, don't let something as simple as caffeine be the thing that shortens it. And if you've made it this far into the video, I want to thank you. It means you care about your health, and you're willing to face uncomfortable truths in order to live better. If you find this helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can get more science-backed, practical, and life-changing information like this. And share this video with a friend who can't go a day without. Coffee might just save them from a wake-up call they didn't see coming. Let me leave you with one final thought, a twist that might surprise you. The very same substance that can kill you in excess caffeine can also be a gift in moderation. It's not about cutting it out completely unless you need to. It's about respecting it. Treat caffeine like a powerful tool, not a crutch. Because tools can build, but they can also destroy, depending on how you use them. So the next time you raise that cup of coffee to your lips, pause for just a second. Ask yourself, am I drinking this to enjoy it? Or am I drinking it because I'm trapped by it? That little moment of awareness could be the difference between adding years to your life and quietly shaving them away.